Hello BrewTubers, and welcome to my 28-day challenge beer brewing video. And my, what a challenge it was. So yes, a beer brewing video. Thanks to Graham Preston and Sarah Pantry for devising this kick up the backside to actually go out and brew. Unlike in the previous video where I stated I was going to be brewing the Coronation Victorian mild beer, didn't have all the ingredients. I needed 3 kilos of amber malt and only had 2. I could have substituted with something else, but I thought, sod it, let's just go with the Cascade Smash. So yes, that is what I went for. A full bag of Marisotto malt, 25 kilograms. That was interesting, using a full bag of malt for the first time. And I have 510 grams of Cascade malt, 6.4% alpha acids to play with. So had about a 2-hour mash and a 1-hour boil. Hop additions, 150 grams at the start of boil, 60 minutes. 150 grams at the last 10 minutes. Then there was, what was next? 50 gram, 60 gram, something like that. Dry hop at flame out on the cool down, and then there will be a dry hop of 100 grams in due course when the beer has been fermenting for a few days. SO5, USO5 to ferment with. So yes, let's get on with the brew day footage. I'll also be doing in this video a little look at some very, very naughty little surprises. 3 of them. So yes, that is my little Easter Monday treat, those 3 beers. But yes, let's get on with the brewing footage. So that is 1 25 kilogram sack of malt into the mash tun. Just obviously got to stir it in still. So yes, first I've added an entire bag of malt to a beer. Nearing the end of the mash, just waiting for the sparge water to get up by another about 10 Celsius or so. And commencement of the sparge. Just coming up to the start of the boil, in goes the Troublemaker. So it is a 1-hour boil, and the first hop addition at 60 minutes, 150 grams of Cascade. The next hop addition is 10 minutes towards the end. The second hop addition, 10 minutes before the end, 200 grams of Cascade. And as you can also see, I've injured my thumb. One of the deepest cuts I've ever had. It's horrible, and I may need to go and see a doctor, but who knows. So at this point we run out of video footage for obvious reasons. Good news is I did manage to transfer the beer into the fermenter. Wasn't able to use a plate chiller very effectively, just because, for obvious reasons, I wanted to get it there and then sort myself out. Did a bit of first aid on myself, which you can see here. But yes, the most important thing was the beer was saved. It took me about 24 hours before I could pitch the yeast, just because the chill process wasn't ideal. I did get the glycol chiller on the fermenter running and chilled it down that way, and then added the USO5. Hydrometer reading was 1.043. I was aiming for 1.040, so should end up a good sort of 4.85% beer. Got to do a dry hop in about 2 days' time, so yes, the beer should be done soon enough. How did I do this then? I know you're asking. Well, let's have a sip of beer. One of the rare beers of the world, the Westvleteren. Never quite worked out how to pronounce that. I did want a 330 milliliter glass, but didn't read what I was buying and bought a 15 one, but never mind. Very nice. So this is their blonde. It's Easter Monday, by the way, so happy Easter all. Tastes like my Patters beer. I do. Good blonde. Sort of a spicy, bitter, grassy maltiness, hoppiness to it. Very nice, very nice. It's not the best beer in the world, but it's a tribute. No, it's very nice. It's a good quality blonde ale. Blonde, you know what I'm talking about. It's a good quality Belgian monastery blonde beer. Ticks all the boxes. So yes, very tasty. So yes, how did I come to do this? So it was as I was actually cleaning the grain basket. I was emptying the grains out of said grain basket. And I was struggling with it because obviously it's considerably heavier than anything I've done before in the past. And as I was trying to tip it out, it slipped, and I'll show you on this some, it cut cleanly through from about there down to about there. Blood everywhere. My attempt at first aid was interesting, and yes, yes, there's quite a bit of blood. So you put pressure on it. Good thing I'm first aid qualified, but doing first aid on yourself, on your dominant hand, is very interesting. So yes, got some pressure on it. Put a plaster on, a big bloody plaster, but all the stickiness had gone from the bandage, so then had to use sellotape, wrapped it up. At this point, I then finished the brewday. Well, when I say finished, I saved the beer, got it transferred into the kettle, into the fermenter, and didn't get any blood in it, which is important. Yes, then got dropped off at A&E and called 111 first, who were good. They gave me a call back, booked me into hospital, went to A&E at Watford General. They examined it, put me in for an x-ray because they were worried that the cut was so deep it could have gone to my bone. Fortunately, it hadn't gone to my bone, but I had to have an x-ray just to make sure. Then waited a bit longer and went back to the treatment room and had a tetanus jab, which was quite useful in there, and had about 6 or 7 local anaesthetic injections in my thumb. So they injected me there, They injected me about there. They tried to do one at the top, but that was too painful, so I asked them to stop. But yes, they did have to inject me quite a few times before it was numb enough that they could stitch it up. And as the lady was putting the stitches in, I asked her if she did any sewing at home, which she said she didn't, which didn't fill me with a lot of confidence, I must admit, but never mind. I'm sure she knew what she was doing. But yes, finished stitching me up and told me I was a brave man, which I knew I was anyway, but it was nice to get told that from someone else. So yes, brave Peter. And then got picked up and went home, and yes, that was about it. 3 hours. So did the accident about 10 to 5, called 111 at 5. Then my sister's partner picked me up and dropped me off at the hotel. Must have got there for about quarter to 6 o'clock, around that time. And I was out by 9. So, you know, 3 hours to be seen, have an x-ray and get treated and head on my way. Pretty bloody good going. So, yes, raising a glass to the NHS. Well, I'll raise several glasses to the NHS, but for a personal, specific problem. So yes, 28-day challenge. It certainly was a challenge. Certainly was. However, I'll get a beer out at the end of it, and I've learnt a life lesson. Don't injure yourself. Yes, it's the first time I've been to hospital since, you know, the usual childhood being born and, you know, baby checkups and things. I've never been to hospital otherwise. So it's all a very new experience for me. Here we are. So yes, they bandaged me up nicely and sent me on my way. I'm taking this off tomorrow and bandage. That's a really difficult word to say. Rebandaging it. Is that even a real word? I'm putting a new bandage on it, basically. And obviously going to clean out slightly with anaesthetic. Got some Dettol stuff because I know it's bleeded. It's bled again since I've had the stitches. Bloody inconvenient because obviously I'm right-handed, so makes a lot of things very difficult. Hence why I'm not wearing a bow tie, because I can't tie any ties up at the moment. Cooking dinner's been fun, and you know, the usual mundane things you do. But never mind. So yeah, it's going to put new dressing on that tomorrow. And tomorrow I need to phone the practice nurse to book in getting the stitches removed, which will be in 10 days time thereabouts. And yes, it's bloody inconvenient because of the ligaments and the muscles and the nerve endings. You know, you do something with this hand and it will strain it and it will hurt like a bastard. So yes, there we go. So yes, that is what's been happening to me. Work has been fun. I've only been in 2 days, but that was tricky to say the least. Yes, and yeah, brew day. I just haven't cleaned up particularly well. Done the best I can with 1 1/4 hands or whatever you want to say. So yes, it's not ideal, but as I said, the beer's fermenting. And yes, that's about it. This is very nice, this blonde. So yes, 28-day challenge, there we go. Let's go on to talking about Trappist Westvleteren. No, I've never really worked out how to pronounce this. Westvleteren. Yes, it's a very nice blonde. It's a very nice blonde, 5.8%. You know, it tastes like sort of blondes I make. I haven't made Peter's beer for an awfully long time. That was a damn good beer. I think that was a smash as well. I think that was Marisota Pale and SARS, or SAS, how you want to pronounce that one. Pronunciation here. Oh, fair bit of yeast sediment in there now. But yes, it reminds me, this reminds me of my Peter's beer quite significantly. I do want to brew that again because that was a very simple beer and it was very tasty. So, you know, hooray. Well, I'll finish the rest of this, then we'll go on to the next one, which will be number 8. 9% beer probably. Oh no, it's 8%. Apparently all the newer beers, well, have this label on it, where the original beers have no label. Not original beers, but they've had to start labeling them, is what I'm trying to say. So yes, we've moved on to the number 8, the 8%. Assume it's a double. There we go. I've had this before. I can't remember if I've had the 12 before, which is the next one I'm going to try. But I've definitely had this one. Had it in 2019 last. And when you realise that's a 4-year gap, you know, we lost 2 years of our life, that bloody COVID bastard thing. But yes, here we go. It's not as good as I remember. Controversial. No, it's not. It's I think it's got a bit too much fizz in it still. I find fizzy beers seem to lose a bit of flavour. Whether that's just me or not, I don't know. But yeah, it's got a sort of a burnt, figgy fruitcake sort of flavour to it, I suppose. Fruity and rich. I think I prefer the Rochefort though. Not that I'm trying side by side, but I seem to remember enjoying that more than I'm enjoying this at the moment. Bit of a boozy hit. Not a big full-on hit, but a boozy tap. You know, it's a tap rather than a hit. I think it might be getting to my head a bit there. Such a wee glass. So now I have all of the Belgian Trappist glasses since I brought this one. Yes, I've got Orval, Rochefort, Westmalle, Achel or Achel, whatever you want to pronounce it. It's 6 in Belgium. Yes, and I've got Tint Meadow. Yes, I think there's a couple in the Netherlands. I think there's an Italian Trappist brewery now as well. And Spencer in the United States. I've had 1 or 2 of the Spencer Trappist beers. I've got a crate of the Tint Meadow in the garage. 5 stitches, by the way. Yes. Right. So yes, yeah, I mean, it's nice, but I'm looking forward to trying 12 now. Don't remember if I've ever tried the 12. That's 10.6%, 10.2%. So, tasty. So yes, we're on to the number 12 of the Westvleteren Easter Monday drinking series. Yes, there we go. Just dive in. It's a little bit fizzy for my tastes. I find that bottled beers and caked beers as well tend to be served a little bit too fizzy for my cask palate. Bit of booziness there, and I'm picking up sort of like a red berry fruitiness, and also a bit of coconut and chocolate flavours, like a sort of coconut chocolate brownie sort of thing, mixed in with burnt fruitcake flavours. It's an interesting flavour. It's a nice flavour. It's a good beer. I think I prefer the Rochefort beers. Of all the Belgian Trappist monasteries, I think it's the Rochefort ones which stand out in the memory a bit more. I mean, not to say this is a bad beer necessarily, you know, it's a very good beer, but I prefer the Rochefort. There we go. Very tasty. Big acid though. So here we are, the end of the film. We've seen the brew day, the 28-day very challenging brew day, and the 3 Easter Westvleteren beers. You know, the 3 beers were good, but I think I still prefer Rochefort as my favourite of the Trappist monastery beers. I think they're a bit creamier, which suits my palate a bit more, I think. So yes, I mean, they're very good still. I'm not saying that this is a bad beer, but I think I prefer the flavour of the Rochefort. There we are. So yes, we'll see how the Cascade Smash turns out once that's finished fermenting. I was actually looking at an old video, the first brew day from 2022. Apparently I brewed a Citra and Lemon Drop Pale Ale, and you know what? I can't actually remember that beer at all. I don't remember what it tasted like, if it was any good, did I throw it away? Complete blank. Don't even remember if I drank it or not. Could be sat in a keg somewhere. Isn't that funny though? You know, you brewed a beer and yet I have no recollection of it whatsoever. Hopefully this Cascade Smash will be interesting though. Hoping it obviously tastes nice. First time using Cascade hops, which were kindly sent to me by a friend who works at White Horse Brewery, who are Oxfordshire based. So thank you very much, Tom. Yes, we'll see how that turns out when it's finished fermenting. Got a dry hop in 2 days, so yeah, should be good. I'll let you know how the old thumb gets on. Going to miss brewing this Coronation Ale though, because there's no way I can brew until that heals. Yeah, so the 6th of May deadline for the actual Coronation is out the window. However, I have applied for a temporary events notice, TENS, so I can sell beer publicly on the Sunday the 7th of May. There's going to be a street party and I'll sell the Cascade and my previous young entrepreneur's bitter. I'll sell that hopefully to the public if it turns out all right. So you know, I've got things coming up which is good, and I'll try and do better with videos in 2023. Obviously the first 4 months have been very quiet, but you know, I enjoy making them. It's just, am I enjoying brewing as much? It's finding the time to do it satisfactorily I'm finding trouble with. Like I'm finding trouble talking at the moment because had far too much strong beer, which is probably a very good place to end. So thank you for watching, and here's to the next one. Cheers.